Let's try that again. Welcome everybody to our Sunday gathering. I'm Sandra Champlain. I am joined here. You can see these beautiful people on screen with me. We have Shirley Ann Sharp, give a wave. Denise Taylor Dunn, hello. And Craig Dowling with us here today. Thank you guys. Carrie and Phil will be here a little bit later. They had some work to do, but they will be here. And you saw them just dance in the last 30 seconds of this song. I always like to add a little magic wherever I can. And our good friend Darren has some time with his family, so he will not be here today, but you'll see him next week. Today, well, first, welcome. I know we have lots of new friends joining us and some old friends as well. Our theme today is freedom. And most of the songs are from the movie Grease. Phil has choreographed our Sunday gathering today, and each Sunday we celebrate life and the reality of the afterlife. So what's coming up? We have Shirley Ann, who will be doing the opening prayer. I will be doing the reading. Craig will be doing our address today. Then Shirley Ann, followed by Denise, will be doing our demonstration of mediumship. Denise will be doing our closing prayer. I have some announcements, and you'll meet Carrie and Phil, if you haven't met them already, at the end for some words from the week. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Shirley Ann for our opening prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. If we could all join together. Let us come together in freedom of being able to believe. Divine and loving Spirit, through freedom, we are able to gather here to learn, question, and understand. Bringing peace within to touch the divine in the inner world, the outer world, and the upper world. Realizing the freedom to express our own beauty in all forms. We acknowledge those who have stood for all our freedoms, encouraging acceptance of all our individualities and all our uniqueness. It is a privilege to be able to walk the path of our spiritual pioneers, the trailblazers, who left us the legacy of freedom to explore life after life. We are part of and hold a responsibility to continue moving forward, continue to expand the freedoms, building upon the strong foundation already very carefully laid. As awareness grows within each of us, we become that activist in moving our spirit and our soul into an active state of peace. We have the freedom to do so in our developing and evolvement within our own spirituality and humanness. Let's throw open those windows, open your hearts, and enjoy the freedom of being welcomed into the arms of pure love. As we welcome Spirit here, please, Spirit, accept our love and our gratitude for the freedoms we have here today together. Amen.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann. All right. In the summer of 1958, a local boy named Danny Zuko and vacationing Australian Sandy Olson meet at the beach and they fall in love. When the summer comes to an end, Sandy frets that they may never meet again, but Danny tells her that their love is only the beginning. Sound familiar? And only the beginning for sure for the hit film Grease, which has certainly impacted millions around the globe. It was released June 16th, 1978, and it was both a commercial and critically acclaimed success. And at the time, it was the highest grossing musical film of all time. It was written by writer Bronte Woodard, who only lived 39 years, but never gave up on his dream of writing this story that lived in his mind. and it certainly left a legacy. This past week, my mom and I saw the new film Elvis. But did you know that Elvis Presley's 8th grade teacher gave him a C- and told him that he had no aptitude for singing? One of his first auditions for a local band, he was told not to quit his day job because he was never going to make it as a singer. Some of the biggest stars in the 50s, like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, John Wayne, Jerry Lewis, Bing Crosby, Rock Hudson, and Bob Hope, were criticized early on, but something had them push forward to be successful. It would have been so easy to listen to negative people that said they can't and develop that I can't attitude. I'd like to read to you a story called Rest in Peace, The I Can't Funeral by Nicholas Butler. Donna's 4th grade classroom looked like many others I had seen in the past. Students sat in 5 rows of 6 desks. The teacher's desk was in the front and faced the students. The bulletin board featured student work. It mostly appeared to be a typical elementary school classroom. Yet something seemed different that first day when I entered. There seemed to be an undercurrent of excitement. The teacher, Donna, was a veteran small-town middle school teacher, only 2 years away from retirement. I took an empty seat in the back of the room and watched. All of the students were working on a task, filling a sheet of notebook paper with thoughts and ideas. The 10-year-old pupil closest to me was filling her page with I can'ts. I can't kick the soccer ball past second base. I can't do long division with more than 3 numerals. I can't get Debbie to like me. Her page was half full, and she showed no signs of letting up. She worked on with determination and persistence. I walked down the row, glancing at students' papers. Everyone was writing sentences, describing things that they couldn't do. I can't do 10 push-ups. I can't eat only 1 cookie. By this time, the activity engaged my curiosity so much, I decided to check with the teacher to see what was going on. As I approached her, I noticed that she too was busy writing, and I felt it was best not to interrupt. I can't get Alan to use words instead of fists, she wrote. I can't get John's mother to come in for a teacher's conference. I can't get my daughter to put gas in the car. Thwarted in my efforts to determine why students and the teacher were dwelling on the negative instead of writing the more positive I can statements, I returned to my seat and continued my observations. Students wrote for another 10 minutes. Most filled their page. Some started another. Finish the one you're on and don't start a new one were the instructions Donna used to signal the end of the activity. The students were then instructed to fold their papers in half and bring them to the front. When students reached the teacher's desk, they placed their can't statements into an empty shoebox. Once all of the papers were collected, Donna added hers. She put the lid on the box, tucked it under her arm, and headed out the door and down the hall. Students followed the teacher. I followed the students. Halfway down the hall, the procession stopped. Donna entered the custodian's room, rummaged around, and came out with a shovel. Shovel in one hand, shoebox in the other, Donna marched the students out of the school to the farthest corner of the playground. There, they began to dig. They were going to bury their I can'ts. The digging took over 10 minutes because most of the children wanted a turn. When the hole approached 3 feet deep, the I can'ts box was placed at the bottom of the hole and quickly covered with dirt. 31 10 and 11-year-olds stood around the freshly dug gravesite. Each had at least one page full of I can'ts in their shoebox, 3 feet under. So did their teacher. At this point, Donna announced, "Boys and girls, please join hands and bow your heads." The students complied. They quickly formed a circle around the grave, creating a bond with their heads, and waited. Donna delivered this unforgettable eulogy. "Friends, we gather today to honor the memory of I can't. While he was on this earth with us, he touched the lives of everyone, some more than others. His name, unfortunately, has been spoken in every public building, schools, city halls, state capitals, and yes, even the White House. Today, we have provided I can't with a final resting place and a headstone that contains his epitaph. I can't is survived by his brothers and sisters. I can, I will, and I'm going to right away. They are not as well known as their famous relative and are not as strong and powerful yet. Perhaps someday, with your help, they will make an even bigger mark on the world. May I can't rest in peace, and may everyone present pick up their lives and move forward in his absence. Amen." As I listened to the eulogy, I realized that these students would never forget this day. The activity was symbolic, of course, a metaphor for life. It was a right brain experience that would stick in the unconscious and conscious mind forever. Writing I can'ts, burying them, and hearing the eulogy, that was a major effort on the part of this teacher. And she wasn't done yet. At the conclusion of the eulogy, she turned the students around, marched them back into the classroom, and then she held a wake. They celebrated the passing of I can't with cookies, popcorn, and fruit juices. And as part of the celebration, Donna cut out a large tombstone from butcher paper. She wrote the words I can't at the top and put rest in peace in the middle. The date was added at the bottom. This paper tombstone hung in Donna's classroom for the remainder of the year. On those rare occasions when a student forgot and said, I can't, Donna simply pointed to the rest in peace sign. The student then remembered that I can't was dead and chose to rephrase the statement. I wasn't one of Donna's students, yet she was one of mine. Yet that day I learned an enduring lesson from her. Now, years later, whenever I hear the phrase, I can't, I see the images of that 4th grade funeral. Like the students, I remember that I can't is dead. So my friends, today as we celebrate freedom, boy, I tell you, that little voice in your head really talks a lot, and it can tell you what not to do and who you can't be. But we want you to be free to be you. And I found this quote by Dr. Seuss that says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter, they don't mind." We're going to go into our healing today. And if you're anything like me, boy, that little voice comes along with us wherever we go. But what I'd like us to do now is just say a little prayer to the unseen world. Take what is needed from me today and send healing wherever it is needed in the world. And of course, anytime we send healing, we also receive healing. Our song today is Andy Grammer's Don't Give Up on Me, and the lyrics are powerful. So all I'm asking is that you just stay present. If you want to keep your eyes open and watch the video, be present. Let that little voice just take a few minutes off. Or if you'd like to close your eyes and just listen to the lyrics, that's fine too. The song was featured in a movie called 5 Feet Apart, which is a story of 2 young patients with cystic fibrosis who had to try to have a relationship despite being forced to stay 5 feet apart from each other. So let's go into our healing song now. And then we'll hear from Craig.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you to Phil for choosing that wonderful music. It's absolutely beautiful. The topic of today is freedom, but what I need to address if I'm going to speak about freedom is basically everything else, because it involves everything in our lives. It comes through the guise of creativity and expression in our life, but also through the natural world, which brings balance to us all, and the love and understanding that we can gain from wisdom and knowing each other. It's also freedom in a way when you're able to be true to yourself and authentic. You're able to drop the charades and the persona, and you're able to be true to those parts of yourself that you would rather keep hidden. And some of those things in life can be really troublesome for us. They can make us feel like we're not the most eloquent person or most educated, but when 9 times out of 10, when we express those things, it happens to be the same thing that other people are feeling as well. But the funny thing about freedom is it doesn't always come in the same guises that we expect. For example, some young lads from Ireland years ago ended up actually leaving and going towards New York. And if I can, I'll tell the story here. But in 1985, 2 boys from Darndale in Dublin, Keith Byrne, aged 10, and Noel Murray, aged 13, both made headlines around the world when they hopped on a train and ended up in New York, escaping authorities in 3 different countries. Keith Byrne said that he and his friend went to the United States because they wanted to see his favorite television star, Mr. T from the A-Team. Their adventure started when they went out to play during dinner time, and Keith said to an RT radio documentary that my mum said, "Don't go far, your dinner's nearly ready." Well, they did. They took the train to Dunleary and snuck onto a ferry in Holyhead in Wales. Emboldened by their success, they avoided the ticket checkers and got on a train to London. Eventually, they wound up at Heathrow Airport with nothing but a few coins they had nicked from a charity fountain. Once they asked a random passenger where their plane was going, and he told them New York. They told the ticket checker and security persons that their parents were behind them and boarded an Air India plane. The plane was only half full, so no one came near us, he said. The journey came to an end when they left JFK Airport and were asked by policemen for the way into town. They were taken to a police station where they were immediately became the center of attention. Authorities were taking no chances when they were put in the hotel suite with 5 security guards. There was BLTs, chips, everything. They fed us like lords. We loved it. Keith and the others and their exploits made the front page in New York newspapers at the time. And it's that freedom of choice is what I want to address today. Because it's something that isn't as, being free and being authentic isn't serious all the time. It's full of full of humor, full of lightness and making mistakes too. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of being who you truly are. But if we don't find the inner courage and the inner determination to succeed in life by being who we are, then we can end up in serious situations where we'll never truly live the life purpose that we're meant to. I've had many friends in life that have passed, unfortunately, by their own hands and have made their own decisions in life. But those men were absolutely amazing people. They made decisions in their lives, and we had some great fun times before as well, that all led us to decide who we were going to be together, friends. And I'm delighted to say that thanks to We Don't Die, Sandra, and some of the mediums on here, I can still connect with my loved ones now today in the spirit world. And I think that's what matters most, is because they are able to empower me to make my decisions for my future, my way. Now, when we do think about freedom, I'm sure that many of you think in terms of what decisions could you make or how could we do it? I'm also the same. It's not easy to speak up in front of people, or sometimes it's even harder to speak one-to-one with some people. I've had situations in my own life recently with another dear friend who basically expressed some upsets that he had hidden from himself. And when he spoke to me about those upsets, he was relieved to hear that they were the exact same as mine. There was no part of what he said that I couldn't relate to. There was no part of what he said that didn't mean something to me as well. And I think that's important to remember. We're so harsh and we're so critical on ourselves that sometimes we constrict who we are as a person. We become not just a persona, but we try to please other people so much because we care. We want other people to understand that who we are deep down is someone that's full of love and full of courage and would do anything for others. But when it comes to doing those things for ourselves, we tend to drop the ball. It's no easy task to love yourself, but to see the positives, just as Sandra said about I can't, to get it to rest in peace. To bring ourselves that peace, we have to be able to look at exactly who we are as a person. We have to be true to ourselves and be able to acknowledge the faults in ourselves, but reframe those. Because I'm going to ask you a question now. Who would you be if you never made those decisions in your life from the past? Who would you be if you didn't make those critical decisions in those critical moments that you needed to make? And I can guarantee you that at some point you may have decided to judge yourself for those. But those mistakes are just as important as learning, because we make mistakes in order to learn. The frustration at times can be very deep. It can be very traumatic and upsetting, but who we are as a person always shines through in the end. To be able to be true to yourself means to look at yourself in a light, positive mood as well. Just as the young lads who went away to New York, I'm sure we've all got a bucket list and we've all decided to do things that we weren't too sure about. But to make those critical decisions is to have fun in life as well. To be able to express what's on your mind to a friend. To be able to artistically look at paintings and see the depth and the meaning behind them. To be able to know truly who you are by being inspired. Love is one of those things that comes up and emerges from below the soul. Everyone says that, but what really is your soul? I believe it's the inner child. I believe it's that part of us that wants to speak up when we're sad, that wants to look a loved one in the eyes when we've made a mistake or maybe they've been angry, and we want to say, I apologize. It's that person who's in grief who we go and we comfort together. And we ask our friends as well to come and comfort us in the same traumas or upsets. But more often than not, it's warmth and it's love. And I said it's hard to actually love ourselves and to be true to ourselves. But when it comes to making those decisions to do what's right, we have to know ourselves first. We must have empathy with ourselves before we can ever have empathy with other people. And when we're able to make those choices that are important to ourselves, and we're able to know who we are deep down inside, that's when we can become free. We'll be able to speak from our hearts, and we'll be able to know exactly what's on our minds. And in that moment, I think that's what matters to us, is to be heard and to be seen, for who we truly are. A dear friend of mine recently who painted a lovely, beautiful pictures when she was in isolation in during particular times that had emerged. She had passed recently and I didn't know. But when I went into the store, I saw these beautiful pictures hanging on the wall. And it made me think about choices I had made in my own life, because I guess for her to be in that position and to choose to make art, even though she was in isolation, I think that was something that she needed. That creative expression, to be true to herself. I can't imagine what it would be like for her now, but it struck a chord with me, because it was a friend of mine who I didn't know that well, but for the few moments that we did speak, she was able to help me with situations in my life. Things that I didn't know that were going on. She was a healer as well. And my friend's picture is right here beside me as well. To have her words beside me and to have that picture and image means that she was able to be free to herself, even though she was in a dark time. She was able to be creative, she was able to understand herself through the art, and she was able to bring healing to me as well. There's plenty of other situations in life that are just like this, where we're not sure what choices or decisions to make. But in the end, all that matters is that you know who you are as a person. If you find, as I've found in many situations, to be and express who you are as a person, it can be difficult. It can take a lot of courage as well. And that inner child's voice often, and more often than not, can be present within us, but it can be suppressed. It can be hidden behind materialism. It can be hidden behind all of those things that we want to distract ourselves from, that we don't want to admit. And if I had to say to you now what my choices have made in this life, it's been mostly about who I am as a person and being able to express it and own up for it. Even though I may make mistakes and I may not say the right thing, I have to own that and be responsible. And to be able to have that creative expression for everyone that's here today, to be able to acknowledge who you are as a person and to be able to speak up for that, to be able to have that artistic quality, even though you may not be the greatest artist alive, you can still do something. I think 9 times out of 10, the most important thing for all of us is to be able to speak truthfully who you are. And it's hard and it's difficult, but it takes a lot of courage to do that as well. And the creative freedom that you can manage yourself with what you know about yourself, that's the important thing. My own parents were some of the most loving people to me, and they gave me a strength and courage that I could never have seen or foreseen. My dad especially, when he says, if you kept telling me that I was a horse, eventually I'd be outside in the field eating hay. And what he was referring to with that, funny enough, is actually the conditioning, the thoughts we have about things. Sometimes we beat ourselves up a little too much. Sometimes we're not as positive as we could be, but it's that motivation, that drive to listen to ourselves and to be authentic to ourselves. That's what really counts. It's being able to show the vulnerabilities and the faults and the mistakes as well. It's being able to speak up and be true to who you are as a person and not regretting the past. And it's when you're able to speak from a place of reason that makes sense for you, You're not going to be liked by everyone. Neither am I, but that doesn't really count. What's important is that you made the decision to stand up for yourself for what you believe in, to be able to transform in a sense, to be able to overcome your conditioning, and to be able to speak from your heart. Bridget's words are here beside me, and I'd like to recite them to you because I feel it's important for change and for freedom as well. Many people have gone through, are going through, or are just longing for change. It can be a burning desire fueled by passion, or it can be brought about by a situation that they had no control over. There was always an element of fear around major changes, decisions, going through the process alone, or some other reason. Staying fully connected to the light will help to overcome fear, as you are reminded that you are not going through this situation alone. The angels and your loved ones in heaven will help to keep your faith strong by sending beautiful signs and synchronicities to guide you on their way. Angels' blessings, Bridget Price. Transformation is one of those things that it's hard. It's really tough. And let me talk to you straight here. Let me be honest. I've gone through things myself as well in life, and it's not been easy. But one thing I did not do was give up, just as the song suggests before this. I'm standing here like bumbling around, making mistakes and you name it. But I'm still here and I always will be, because that's who I am. I persevered, I've made the choice to be here, and I always will. And that's what matters as well, to me. You can make your own choices too. It doesn't have to revolve around massive change. It doesn't even need to be difficult. I mean, look at the two kids. They sent themselves to New York without anybody knowing. Of course, they're Irish, which is probably something, right? But to be able to do that and make that choice, to just say, hey, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's change it up a bit. And that's exactly what I think, I won't talk about myself. I'll leave it up to you. Whatever changes you want to make in your life, whether it's creativity and it's freedom, it's wanting to be respectful to others and understand them, to be able to speak about your truths and what's going on in front of the public even. And maybe one or two of you might be a medium as well, who knows? But it's in being able to know what your passion is, your purpose, what you're here for, what really resonates behind the scenes. And 9 times out of 10, we don't really know because that little inner voice inside of us is muffled by all of the distractions around us, all of the things that we're too distracted by that lead our attention away, that don't allow us to hear those little words within. The words that say, I'm good enough, I can, I will, I'm capable. I might not be perfect, I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm me, and that's all that matters. I'd like to leave you with the words of Charlie Chaplin, because I feel as though this is, look, let's get down to it. I have forgiven mistakes that were indeed almost unforgivable. I've tried to replace people who were irreplaceable and tried to forget those who were unforgettable. I've acted on impulse, have been disappointed by people when I thought that it would never be possible. But I have also disappointed those who I love. I have laughed at inappropriate occasions. I've made friends that are now friends for life. I've screamed and jumped for joy. I've loved and I've been loved, but I have also been rejected and I've been loved without loving the person back. I've lived for love alone and made vows of eternal love. I've had my heart broken many, many times. I've cried while listening to music and looking at old pictures. I've called someone just to hear their voice on the other side, and I've fallen in love with a smile at times. I thought I would die because I miss someone so much. At other times, I felt very afraid that I might lose someone very special, which ended up happening anyway. But I have lived, and I will still continue living every day. I'm not passing through life, and you shouldn't either. Live. The best thing in life is to go ahead with all your plans and your dreams, to embrace life and to live every day with passion, to lose and still keep the faith, and to win while being grateful. All of this because the world belongs to those who dare to go after what they want, and because life is really too short to be insignificant. Thank you very much for having me here.
Craig, thank you so much. Boy, I tell you, if we were all together, you'd be getting a standing ovation right now. Your words made a profound difference to me, and I'm sure, I know they made a difference to others. So you are our cup of tea. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And as I said in the beginning, you know, that little negative voice, well, it doesn't get to come with us when we go over to the spirit world, but all the good stuff does. Our personality, our sense of humor, our memories. So this is the point in our gathering that we get to do some reunions. There are a number of people in the spirit world who have volunteered to make contact with us. Now, it's not just those people. We've got lots of people in the spirit world that are right here with us in the room you're in right now. But these representatives are going to work with our mediums today, and they're going to plant memories and thoughts and pictures and feelings and maybe some words within them. And they're going to do their very best to communicate those with their loved ones. Those folks in the spirit world know exactly who's on our Zoom meeting right now. We have a worldwide congregation of very, very special people. So how this is going to work is Shirley Ann is going to go first, followed by Denise, and you'll hear them give some initial bits of information about the person in the spirit world that is connecting with them. So we want you to really be on the edge of your seat and listen in. If you can understand 100% of the information that they are giving you, as a person that no longer walks this earth, but that you know, could be a family member, could be a friend, could be someone distant, but if you recognize all the information, we want you to press your raise hand button. So I know we have several new folks with us today, and this is the audience participation. You can find your raise hand button right now and just press it and see what happens on your side. Very good. And now it should say lower hand. And so you can press it one more time so your hand goes down. I know we can't see your faces here, but we know who's here. So when we figure out who this person in the spirit world is here for, we're going to ask you to unmute yourselves. Now, I have to press something special on my end before you see an unmute button, so don't panic, okay? And if you are the one who has an opportunity to work with one of our mediums today, your job is easy. You just need to be honest, and you just need to give one of 3 different responses when they give you information about this person. You can say yes, no, or I don't know. Okay, those are your 3 choices: yes, no, or I don't know. I know, as a human being, we get excited and we want to volunteer information, but we don't want you to do that. We want everybody to leave here today knowing that our mediums are connecting with your loved one. Okay, deal? All right. Now, there will be a handful of people from the spirit world that step forward on behalf of everyone. Now, I know it's very, very easy to just hope and pray that your loved one comes through, but please know your loved one is right with you right now in the room here. Okay, they are. And when you listen to some of the information that comes through in the messages, and you think, boy, I could use a little of that, just like Craig just spoke, their messages really are for all of us. So we like to play a piece of music before we start. It's your opportunity to either sing along, feel good, but take that time to just acknowledge your loved ones that are around you in that space unseen. Here we go. And yes, Phil picked another song from the wonderful movie of Grease. Lightning. We have Shirley Ann up first. Hi, Shirley Ann. Great song, Phil.
And welcome to everybody this morning. Actually, I was going to say this morning, but in everybody's time zone. So we're all just so different at the moment, which is fantastic. Now, as I move my mind to the spirit world, I know I have a gentleman coming forward to make contact today. And he's giving me the awareness here that he enjoyed sailing yachts. And I actually feel as though he owned his own yacht. Sandra, can I throw that out at this point?
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. So we have two ladies with one lady. Well, let me bring in Annette. Annette, now you can find your unmute button. Hi, Annette. Annette, can you hear me? We don't have a voice here, Shirley Ann, but we do have the other lady with her hand raised.
It looks like we have two participants, Sandra.
Yes.
I want to say that this gentleman would have sailed, and I feel as though he would have sailed around the islands. And I'm feeling like it was more like the Greek islands, but this gentleman did go on long sailing trips.
Okay, thank you very much. Jane, your hand went down. Can you understand any of that, Jane? Her hand is up. Okay, Jane, can we have your voice?
Hello. No, I can't understand the sailing around the island, so I put my hand down again.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you so much. And Annette, we are having problems hearing your voice. Are you there?
Okay, so Annette, you would be able to recognize this as Dad.
Annette, our chat box is open. If you can type in the chat box, that might help because for whatever reason, we can't hear your voice.
She's raised her hand again for Dad, Sandra. So I feel I should continue. Is that all right with you?
Okay.
And I feel as though you would have actually been on the boat with Dad in some of the trips. Our hand is still raised. I'll take that as a yes.
I'm trying to bring her in as a panelist just to see if we can see her face and she can do a thumb up or thumb down. It's always nice to have some confirmation besides the...
Yes, it is. How are we doing?
We're not doing so well, unfortunately, with technology. Her hand did go down after you said Dad, I believe.
We've got our hand raised again. So Annette, just pop your hand down and see if you can take all of this information. Dad in the spirit world who enjoyed yacht sailing and actually owned his own yacht. Can you raise your hand if this is all correct, please? Thank you. I do feel with Dad in the spirit world, you and Dad were very, very close. This is difficult, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So there we are. Thank you, Annette. We've got you in our chat box. And I know with you and Dad, you could have very private conversations with him. And I know there were incidences in your life that Dad really helped you. There was no one else you would have confided in. Thank you. And these were really precious moments with Dad because I feel Dad was one that could actually offer really, really good advice. And if he could pick you up and take you out of a situation, he would. I also feel, Annette, that when you were a child and maybe older, Dad, you'd remember Dad's stubble. He'd often have stubble.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And I feel as though when you were little, he'd tease you with his stubble.
Yes.
And I feel with Dad, he would have really have liked to live what I call as off the grid. I feel as though his working life and even his business life had been tough at times. Can you understand that?
Yes.
But I feel through this, Dad became even more patient, and I feel a calmness within Dad. There was an anger over a particular situation, and I feel it was with a business of his, but it's like he calmed down a lot. Can you understand that as he got older?
Yes.
And I feel with Dad, Dad was very clever and he knew everything about yachts. And I know this yacht, it feels like it has a wooden, natural wood base to it. There's a lot of natural wood on this boat.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Alrighty. Now, Annette, you would know that he traveled, he did long trips, sailing trips.
Absolutely, she wrote.
Absolutely, because I know he enjoyed the hot climate, and I know he enjoyed different cultures and different people, and he could get on with just about anybody.
Yes.
Okay. I also feel with Dad his sense of humor. I feel as though he would skylark about, and being on the boat, I feel gave him that freedom. The freedom that we're talking about today, freedom of mind, freedom of spirit. And it really took him away from a world that he found quite restrictive. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I also feel with Dad, we have all these wonderful attributes, well, I think they're wonderful, but he also did have an artistic way about him as well, an artistic aspect to his personality. Can you understand that? Creative.
Yes.
And he could, alongside that creativeness, if anything went wrong on the boat, Dad could fix it. Even if he didn't have the right tools, the right product to fix it with, he would make do and find something that would fix the situation.
Mostly, she says.
Okay. And I know with a lot of these things, Dad was self-taught. But I also want to say within you, Annette, he inspired you within your life, because I know Dad would be that quiet person in the background, just giving those gentle nudges, that gentle encouragement. Can you understand that?
Yes, not gentle.
That's fine, because this encouragement I know is positive. And this is one person that in your life was always positive with you. And he's also giving me the impression here that when he did move to his next life, when he transitioned, you took it really hard, as we do with our loved ones, but you found
Yes.
it difficult to readjust yourself after losing Dad. He was such a stabilizing factor. But I feel with Dad, the reason he's coming through, the message, so to speak, he came through with a sailing boat where he found the most peace. And I feel as though he's trying to let you know that he's aware that you are starting to find peace within your life. Can you relate to that, Antoinette? Annette?
Yes.
And I have to say, finding that peace within yourself, it's been a long road. And I know that you have had to forgive, release so many things within your life to be able to find should I say, a natural way of being.
Yes.
I also want to say to you that he's giving me the feeling here, the impression that you are starting to be your true self and not be so much what other people wanted you to be.
Yes.
And I have to say, he's just giving me this overall feeling of pride with you, but also beauty in what he's seeing. He's actually making me feel quite emotional here. And I don't know whether your dad's been through before, but he was so dying to talk to you and share his love with you. It's like he needed to get that love through to you today at this specific time. Can you understand that?
Yes.
I'm going to leave you with that, Lovey, because this has been a very, very special man in your life. Adventurous, humorous, creative, and oh so curious. And that he sees in you. So I'll leave you with his love. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley Ann. She says thank you so much.
Oh, it's so lovely, you know, working with the spirit world, because we get to feel it. We're only the link, that's all. It's got very little to do with us, but we're lucky enough to have that feeling as it passes through. Okay. Now, just staying with the themes of Dad at the moment, I feel as though I'm being made aware of another gentleman in the spirit world. Now, this gentleman, I feel, loved fishing. He was the classic of the big one got away, and he would come home with this. He was a classic at doing that. Total sense of humor. And I know he took you fishing when you were a lot younger. Can we put that out there, please?
Yes. All right. We have several hands that have been raised with this information.
And okay, and our numbers are going up. That's fantastic. And I know where he used to fish a lot was on the beach. Now, what do we call that? From the beach rather than from a boat.
Surf fishing, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but if you cannot understand that information, if you could put your hands down, if he didn't fish from the beach. So we still have 5 hands up with beach fishing.
All right. Now, this was very regular with Dad. I almost want to say every weekend, if he could, he would get out to fish. He loved, and I also feel as though he lived near the beach. So it wasn't very far to travel to go fishing at all. In fact, I don't even feel as though you would have had to have got in a vehicle and drove. So very near to where he lived.
All right.
And I actually feel like our sitter, our recipient, is still living in that same area.
All hands went down. We had 2 hands that were up. Kimmy, and then somebody who says Galaxy 8.
So just going back to, if you're not living very close to that beach, then you're living very close to a beach now. Okay. But can I ask, or can I say that where you're living is not that far away from? No, I will take that back. I will take that back. Now I feel the recipient still goes fishing on the beach. You still find the time to go fishing on the beach.
And all hands went down.
All righty, I'm feeling as though you're still fishing on the beach. All right.
Well, Donna's got her hand up, and she's had it up quite a bit of this time. Let's unmute her and hear her voice. Hi, Donna.
Hello. I still sit at the beach where he lived and played and fished.
Thank you, Donna Marie. I think that's what I'm feeling, as though you were still in some way.
Yeah.
And I know when you sit there, you actually still talk to Dad.
That's right.
And when you talk to Dad, I feel as though you feel Dad come in and other family members start to surround him. It's almost like you have quite a congregation there when you start sitting and talking to him at the beach.
That's right.
And there's also an impression here that you've actually done this quite recently, Donna Marie.
Most weekends I go.
Okay, because I just feel there's something you've been talking to him about that's been really confusing you, a situation that's been confusing you. It's like you're getting information from A and information from B, but it's not matching.
That's right.
Oh, that's great. Do you know, I feel as though when you're sitting at the beach, I feel Dad sitting beside you, just putting one arm around your shoulder, and I feel like you used to sit like that, actually.
Yes, quietly together.
And even as he got older, I feel as though almost too old to lead the party to go fishing. That was something that you wanted to do with him. And I believe he did go with you in later life.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. And I know that when you went there, there was a lot of remembrance because, Donna Marie, is there still a wee house on the property, or a house that he would have lived in near to where he was fishing?
Um, when he was a child, I live about 2 k's from that street.
Ah, okay. Because there's
Or
just
maybe a bit more.
so many memories for him there. He's also bringing back memories of lots of seafood. And I want to say, Donna Marie, did he enjoy Kinners?
Yep, we ate all of it.
Because that was, you know, to me, that's quite strange. Kinners. It's not something I enjoy, but I know that was often barbecued on the beach or eaten on the beach.
Family get-togethers, yes.
And Donna Marie, in the younger days, I feel like your dad would have actually dived for seafood.
Family members did.
Family members, because I could feel the crayfish pots being cleaned out.
He was a crayfishman.
Ah, okay. So, and with that, I feel Dad, you know, I can feel his gnarly fingers because it was very hard work.
Yes, it was.
But I have to say he loved it, and he loved the men he worked with. A lot of humor, a lot of joking.
That's what I remember.
And Donna, he's bringing me the memory. I don't know whether it's him or somebody else in the family, actually used to play the ukulele.
They'd be his brothers.
Ah, because I want to say it's like the band of merry men.
Yeah, that'd be right.
But Dad actually had a very good singing voice as well.
He did actually, yeah.
And he could definitely carry a tune. But I must say, I don't think Mum agreed.
That's true.
Would be more inclined to say, give him a bit of a whack and say, will you sit down? But no, once Dad was off, and I have to say with a couple of bevies, he was off.
Oh, the family, yes.
But these were very fun times with Dad. Family to him was everything. And he would move, should I say, hell and high water to look after or take care of his children, particularly you.
Thank you.
He's giving me the impression here that as you were growing up, I'm going to say you had to put up with or tolerate more than the usual.
That's true.
Yes. And also, Donna Marie, I want to say to you, you actually looked after your brothers.
My brother?
Yes, you did. You helped look after them as they were growing up.
I've only got the one brother, and there was a situation I remember as a child, yes.
But can I also suggest too that the neighbourhood children, not neighbourhood children, other children, young adults would come if they needed help, they needed a bed, they could find one at your place.
I get that. I understand what that means. Yes.
Okay. Donna Marie, I want to pass his love on to you. And, you know, just look into those still waters for the answers. It's like you hold all the keys that you need. but it's a matter of you being discerning and just working your way down that river, just slowly and calmly and quietly to come to the decisions you need to make.
Thank you very much.
But do
That-
know so much backing within spirit world.
Thank you. I really needed that today. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Donna Marie.
you.
Thank you, Donna. And Shirley Ann, thank you so much. Really, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful job. And we're going to go over to Denise. Hello, Denise.
Hello, Sandra. Hello,
Welcome.
everyone. I'm very glad to be here tonight. I'm very grateful to Sandra, Kerry and Phil for making this possible. Fantastic opportunity. So I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. So as I take my mind to the spirit world, I'm very much aware of a lady, and I do feel this is Sister. And I also feel with Sister, you would have memories of having a holiday in Hawaii. Can I put that out there, Sandra?
Absolutely.
And anybody recognize that?
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sister in the Spirit World and Memories of Hawaii. If you could raise your hand. No, oh, I almost said no hands, but we have John with his hand raised. John, could you unmute yourself, please?
Yes.
Welcome, John.
Hello,
Thank you.
John.
Hello.
So you understand Sister and memories of holidaying in Hawaii?
Yes.
Okay. So as I get to know this lady, I do feel that she had a great sense of fun about her.
Yes, that's right.
She was the life and soul of any gathering that you would have.
Yes.
And I also feel with this lady that she not only knew how to party, but she knew how to dance.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And I also feel that your relationship was a very close relationship with your sister.
Yes, that's true.
And I know, John, that she looked to you as her big brother.
Yes, that's right.
And I also feel, John, that she would have told you her secrets.
Yes, that's true.
Things that would have been on her mind that she felt she couldn't talk to others about. I know she would have had those conversations with you.
Yes.
Because she trusted your integrity with that information.
Right.
John, would it be correct to say that your sister passed to the spirit world with cancer?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And I know when she became poorly and people were told that she had this disease, I do feel that it was kept to a small number of people initially.
I think that's true. Yes.
Because she was quite a private person and she didn't like people knowing too much about her, is what I feel.
Okay.
But I also feel, John, that the time from diagnosis to her passing to the spirit world wasn't an awful long time.
Correct.
And this came as quite a shock to other people that didn't know.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Well, what I'm feeling here, John, with your sister is she's bringing me those happy memories that you have with her. And in particular, as I mentioned, the holidays earlier, because I feel you had quite a few holidays with your sister.
Yes, that's true.
And your families together were very close.
Yes.
And I know that your children and her children enjoyed that time and that growing together in family situations like that, family get-togethers.
Okay.
Would you understand, John, a particular time at Christmas
Yes.
that was a family occasion where I feel she would have dressed up in what I would call a fancy dress costume? Would you understand that?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
You don't remember? Okay. But you would remember she would go to a lot of trouble for these family gatherings, and she would make a big effort.
Oh, yes.
look.
All the holidays, yes, she went full out.
Full out. And I know that she looked immaculate. She was very, very aware of how she was dressed and, you know, how she looked. She was very proud of the way that she looked.
That's true.
But what I feel, John, is that your sisters bring in those happy memories here today for you
Oh,
to
thank you.
remember how much you shared, not just your happy times, but the love and the connection and the bond that you had.
Oh, thank you. I miss her a lot.
And I feel that she misses you too. And those happy memories, I feel she's bringing to remind you that she's close by and she's forever with you.
Oh, thank
So
you so
can I
much.
leave her love with you, John?
Yes, thank you very much. It helps.
Thank you very much for working with me.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Denise.
Okay. So as I turn my mind again to the spirit world, I'm aware of a man, and I feel this is a younger man in spirit. And I do feel this is brother. And I also feel with brother that he would have been in, or would have worn at some time in his life in the military, is what I want to say. So I know he would have worn a uniform and he would have been in the military. Can I throw that out there, Sandra? Does anybody understand that information?
Absolutely. All right. We have Julian with his hand up. Oh, and Elise also.
Okay.
Two folks.
So what I'm feeling with this young man is a sense of proudness to serve his country, a very dedicated young man who was really proud to be in that position, to represent the country he came from. Would that make sense to these two ladies?
Yes, we have a gentleman and a lady. Yes.
Oh, a gentleman and a lady.
Oh, one hand went down. So
okay.
Julian's hand went down, and Elise. If you
so we have Elise.
Yes.
Okay, because hello, Elise.
Hello.
What I feel about this young man is that he had such a sense of pride, and I feel that this was something he wanted to do from being quite a young boy. He had his heart set on being in the military. Does that make any sense to you?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure about that? Okay.
I'm also not sure if you're talking about being young when he passed or being young when he was in the military.
No, I initially said I feel that it was a young man, and a young man when he passed to spirit.
Oh, yes, he wasn't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So let me just give some more information. I do feel that he was a youngish man when he passed to spirit, but I also feel that he was in the military and he joined the military as a young man.
All right, let's bring in Julian. Julian, I have to promote you to panelist, and we can work with you. Hang on one second. And we'll see what you can take out of that. You're the other person with the hand raised. And Julian, hello, our new friend. Just press your unmute button.
Hello, Julian.
Hey guys, how's it going? I don't know if you can hear me or not, but some of those things, they kind of resonate. That's kind of why I'm here, just to connect with my oldest brother. He passed away in like 2020. He was young, but I
Okay.
was in the military.
Don't give me any information, Julian, please. Let me do the work for you. But you understand, a brother in spirit, pastor spirit is young, and he was in the military.
No, man, that's what I kind of got confused on. He did pass away when he was young, but I was the one that was in the military.
Ah, okay, forgive me. You was the one that was in the military. Okay.
He was really
Well,
proud.
what I feel about this young man is that he had quite an adventurous side to him. Would you understand that? I feel that he enjoyed taking risks.
That's my brother.
Yes. And I also feel with him that he was a little bit hard to keep up with, because he would be doing something different on most days. I feel that he was very unpredictable in his adventurousness, if that makes any sense to you.
It does. It does.
Yes. I also feel with this young man that he would have liked cars. He would have had a love of cars.
He did.
He did. And in particular, Julian, I feel that he would have liked to have raced cars.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. And I know that sometimes racing cars would have got him into trouble at times.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. But he didn't see anything wrong in that, and he was always willing to take that risk. I do feel that he liked to be within his circle of friends. He's making me feel that he liked to appear to be the one that was quite adventurous and racing his cars and being the lad, if you see what I mean. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Like standing out. He was a standout guy.
Exactly. And I know that was important to him. I know the way he appeared to his friends had to be this big man.
Yeah, he was pretty big.
He was pretty big. But his appearance, or what I want to say is his reputation, actually. His reputation went before him. People knew of him before they actually met him.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And I would also say, Julian, sometimes that wasn't for the right things.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But I know that your relationship with him was a little bit rocky at times.
Yes.
But I know you were close. And I know that he would have asked advice from you. He didn't always take it, but he would have had discussions with you about certain things, but not always taken your advice.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
But I also feel with him that I know time was short with him, but it was always quite adventurous. And you never knew what was round the corner with him, because he could surprise you on most occasions with what he got up to.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. That sounds exactly like him.
But I also feel, Julian, that he's here to really just let you know that he's around you and let you know about, it's his way of recognizing the value of that relationship that you had, because he didn't always recognize it at the time when he was here. But I feel he's impressing upon me now to say, you were the big brother that he valued and turned to when he needed. And so I feel that that is the reason he's here to be remembered.
Could you tell him that I love him?
Sorry?
Could you tell him that I love him? If you can talk to him, just tell him I said I love him.
Julian, you've just done that yourself, because he's very much here. He's not just here with me, he's here with you as well. He hears everything you say. You can talk to him anytime. You just have to say the words in your head or out loud, it doesn't matter. And that love never dies. That bond is always there. So thank you, Julian, for letting me share your brother with everybody here today. Please take his love, and thank you very much for working with me.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise, so very much. It is a pleasure to have you be working on our Sunday gathering. We thank you, and also to Shirley Ann. And great information. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not just here showing up for our Sunday gathering. Our loved ones are around you. They're supporting you. They're loving you. And I'm sure they wish the communication was easier. They do everything they can to plant memories and thoughts and feelings in your mind, give little subtle signs, but it's hard being a human because we just chalk things up to our imagination, or we're so busy on our devices that we're not in the present moment to feel their love. So just some announcements before I turn it over to Carrie and Phil. Our new classes just started this past week for August. And if you're interested, it's not too late to join us. You'll get the replay from class number 1 immediately upon registration. On Mondays, it's Trance and the Altered States with Scott Milligan. Tuesdays, you find out about your spirit guides, inspirers, and teachers, those in the unseen world around you. That's with Carrie and Phil. Wednesday's Psychic Development with Carrie and Phil, which is the first step in mediumship. And Thursdays is Medium Development with Carrie and Phil. Also, this coming Tuesday, you can spend an hour being led into sitting in the power with your eyes closed with our friend Scott Milligan. Also on Friday, he does a sitting for healing followed by a demonstration of trance mediumship. We have something special on August 20th. It's spending 5 hours with Carrie and Phil in this sitting in the power, which we all can probably agree is the most important thing any human being can do. Just like charging our cell phones, we need to be spiritually charged. It improves mediumship, communication. It's good for health. It's good for many reasons. So they'll give you different experiences of sitting in the power. And it's just an absolutely beautiful class. On August 22nd through August 26th, Carrie and Phil are doing a 5-day workshop with our medium students. You're welcome to join if you are a medium or practicing medium or studying mediumship. And that one is called the Self-Coaching Medium. Okay, that's it for what's coming up. It's not too soon to register for next week's Sunday gathering. Our home base is wedon'tdie.com. You can click on the Sunday Gathering tab. You can click on the store page for all the things coming up, and you can get some past replays. Of course, we've got some friends here that found out about our Sunday Gathering through one of my podcasts. You can listen to the podcast episodes there. And you can also join our community. We've got a wonderful Facebook group. So you got a taste of mediumship today, but please know love is around. Your loved ones are around. You are never alone. And your life matters. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Carrie and Phil for some words.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Danny here from Greece.
And it's Sandy from the Pink Ladies. And I want to say thank you to the Pink Ladies that are on here as well.
I know, we all got the invisible memo, didn't we?
And we've also got Kaniki Craig as well from Greece. So you'll have to look that one up, Greece, Craig, because you're not old enough. But it's an absolute joy to be here with you, because within the We Don't Die community, the student group and my mediumship groups, we pride ourselves on standards. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree today, these people have met that standard and much, much more. Because Craig, we saw you, we heard you, and you left us motivated by allowing us to see your authentic self. Some people say you would be very brave to come on here, but you had a belief that you could do it. And we had a belief in you that you could do it. And I know your words, even though we caught the end of them, will inspire many. So it is an absolute privilege to listen to you speak. And on behalf of the spirit world, I want to say thank you to you. To the two young ladies in pink also, it's incredible to watch you. You are going from strength to strength, and myself, Sandra and Kerry are very, very proud of you for what you're doing, not just for the banner of We Don't Die, but for the spirit world as well. Today, I picked the theme of freedom. Freedom to have free will, to make as many choices in life as you can. Because if you be free with your choices and do what is right for you, you will give yourself a lot of fun, bring a lot of energy into your life, but also take care of that well-being that you have as well. So freedom is whatever it means to you. I picked the songs from Greece because Greece was on the base of freedom of sexuality back then, opening everyone's eyes to be who they can and have free will to be the sexuality that they are. So it's a monumental film that we all like and love because of the music and the characters and what it represents. And in some way, we've all been probably Danny Zuko or Sandy, for whoever we are out there. But it's a real joy to see those freedoms of speech, those freedoms of who we are, coming from all walks of life, joining together from many, many countries this evening, this afternoon, on the Sunday gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want to say to you is, be free to who you really are. Do not hide your light, let it shine, and make those choices that make you happy. You have the freedom of your own free will to do that. And if you do that, I know you'll inspire the many, just as Craig has, just as Sandra has. Both ladies, Denise and Shirley Ann, have as well through their mediumship. So be true to who you are and make that freedom happen. I'm going to hand back over now to Shirley Ann.
Oh, we're going to Denise actually for the closing prayer, but nice to see you guys. All right, over to Denise. You just need to unmute yourself, Denise.
Thank you, Sandra. If you'd like to join me in the silence. Divine and infinite spirit, as this Sunday gathering now draws to a close, we give thanks for having this opportunity to share with you in the celebration of eternal life, the coming together of our loved ones in the unseen world, who we know are always part of our lives. And as we move forward into the week ahead, with open hearts and minds, help us to be kind to one another, to love and respect all those who share this world, irrespective of our origin, our background, or how we choose to live our lives. Help us to see the truth that the divine spark within you resides within us all, reminding us that we are truly connected. Amen.
Thank you so much. A warm thank you to our team here, our friends in the spirit world that show up in our lives and are here with us every week, and to you at home or wherever you may be joining us for our Sunday gathering. I know this seems like a virtual world, but we are a very real community. We're all these little lights all over planet Earth glowing right now. So you're never alone. Thank you for those of you who have donated to our Sunday gathering to make it possible. You see how these reunions are ever so important, and all the inspirational words to empower us for the week. So with that, we got one more song from Greece, our closing song. And here we go. Always be doing the Sunday gathering. So please keep coming back. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And thank you to those who donated to make this possible. Bye, everyone.